I always wanted to do about success stories, wanted to bring those stories, untold stories from Kashmir that nobody knows about. And when I came to know about Raj Begum and her music, it really inspired me to write a story. It was actually her music that drove me to put together a screenplay. Because I think the biggest thing here is that she was celebrated as a musician, legend in Kashmir, but a lot of people don't know about her.
And honestly, I wanted to sing the songs. Who wouldn't? They're beautiful songs.
Yeah.
And stunning tunes. And we went through this. We went through this process of like recording.
Yeah, we recorded with Saba.
And I think we all agreed that we need that accent.
It's this whole, generational thing. A woman would always want her daughter to be the child bearer of, to get married and to have a safe life.
Yeah.
Safe life, and now she's going to become a singer, pata nahi kya log kya kahenge and all that and all that.
Guys, on the 29th of August comes a very sweet film full of Kashmiriyat and life. It's called Songs of Paradise. It's on Amazon Prime Video. And from me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, I highly advocate you go and watch it because you'll come away with a wonderful smile on your face and a smile in your heart too. Danish Renzu, who's only been on my show once before, great to have him return. Hi, how are you, Danish?
Great. How are you?
Good, I'm very well. And the wonderful Saba, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
And Soni, Razdan, always such a pleasure to talk to you.
Same here.
I remember when I spoke to you during Illegal, you were talking to me about, I asked you what's on the pipeline, what is the other stuff you're working on, and you had said you were talking about thinking at the time of reviving Kashmiri folk music.
Yes.
And you were trying to do a lot of re-recording. You never mentioned anything about this project, probably it is still in the pipeline. And suddenly I look at Tarak Raina's character and go, is that autobiographical? Is that Danish Renzu in the search of re-recording Kashmiri songs?
Yeah,
Am I right
yes.
there?
Yes,
yeah?
you are.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's really a compliment for somebody like Tarak, that a director has written an autobiographical part
I'm
for
grateful
him.
for him to do this character and do such a great job with it too. Yeah.
Yeah, so talk to me about that. Talk to me about how long you've been working on that. It was nice to create something cinematic out of it.
Yeah, I've been always wanting to do a film from Kashmir which is not about the usual that you want all the time. I always wanted to do about success stories, wanted to bring those stories, untold stories from Kashmir that nobody knows about. And when I came to know about Raj Begum and her music, it really inspired me to write a story. It was actually her music that drove me to put together a screenplay. Because I think the biggest thing here is that she was celebrated as a musician, legend in Kashmir, but a lot of people don't know about her. And I felt like it was sort of not just a responsibility, but very important to bring narrative like Songs of Paradise out at this time, because we are lacking stories like that from Kashmir. And being a Kashmiri myself, I think it's an honor that I was able to put this together and celebrate her legacy. Of course, it's inspired by her music, her songs, but the spirit is there, spirit of Raj Begum, and we are celebrating that with you. Yeah.
And all three of you have a Kashmir connection. Yeah.
We do.
And very proudly so. I mean, wonderful. Saba, it must be, again, when Danish came to you, saying it's a story on Kashmir, it's not about the usual, terrorist infiltration, the stuff you've seen so much of. You must have immediately thought that in some way it was karmic.
Yeah, I just feel like, sometimes regions of strife become statistics, and stories, human stories just get lost. And I love that his film had nothing to do with strife. There was a different kind of strife, there was a different kind of struggle. And I absolutely love the story, and of course it's a musician, so that's also an attractive kind of thing for a musician to kind of play another musician. But yeah, I was in immediately. I was like, yes, please count me in. I'll do this one, yeah.
Apart from the Kashmiriyat, it's also a wonderful story about relationships. But there are a couple of moments of great pathos, Soni ma'am, and one of them was when, how we are not able to preserve our archives.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember when the FTI fire had happened, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
When I heard movies like Pother Panchali and all these treasure trove of movies had been destroyed. And the movie speaks very significantly of her work and the pain that she feels of that going away. That must have also spoken to you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for an artist, you have your whole legacy, which you're holding, and then suddenly it all vanishes in ashes. I think it must be the most shattering experience to have to deal with that. But I just want to come back to what you were asking earlier, because it's funny how you spoke of like a karmic connection with Kashmir, because my family, like Saba's, moved away from Kashmir many centuries ago. But the fact of the matter is, thanks to Razi and then Danish, my work has brought me back to Kashmir, and I think almost every year I've been doing something in Kashmir, something related to work only. So we did a lot of music videos together, and then we were talking about a feature together, and then this came up and whatever. So it's a very organic kind of strange osmosis process that's happened, whereby my roots have taken me back to the place where they first,
how lovely
existed, which is
and automatically you haven't really gone out on a limb to look for it.
Not at all, not at all.
Lovely, how lovely.
Yeah.
To recreate the era, that music of that era is not easy to do, because everything's become very electronic in the modern age. She's a musician herself, so she can testify to that. To strip the music down to its bare essentials and go back to pure analog recording, or at least making it sound so, must have been a wonderful challenge for you to work with your music director.
Yeah, I mean, this one was a musical. That was the highest priority, to make sure the songs are as authentic as possible. And that's why we roped in Abhay Supuri, whose father has been a legend, late Pandit Bachchan Supuri, and he's actually composer of some of these songs. At that time, he had recorded with Raj Begum. He has recorded with all these legends from Kashmir. So getting Abhay on this project, it was just, a beautiful process recreating these songs, but also at the same time we knew that we have to stick to authenticity and not do anything that, because we're honoring a legend here and it's a huge responsibility, and we had to give our best, and we made sure it's as authentic as possible. Even the musicians, the singers, they're all Kashmir based, and we did a lot of auditions for a lead singer also for months. Finally we were able to get in Masrat, who's done a fab job singing these songs. It's her first movie, our lead singer, a Kashmiri girl.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I'm very happy with the songs, and they sound really authentic, and we had 13-14 musicians recorded, all kind of different instruments.
Okay.
Segues beautifully into my next question.
Yeah.
Did you get the singer Saba Azad to contribute on the soundtrack? I saw her name in the credits at the end, but I wonder if there was an extra credit for the music, or it was just the acting credit. I don't know.
Just the acting credit. Just the acting credit.
Yeah.
You didn't think of that?
Absolutely, but these songs.
We did. I'd like to take that one.
Yeah,
they
please.
actually did. But I think what they decided to do was actually correct. I don't speak the language. And I think for the sake of authenticity, I think it is really important that someone who is familiar with the language sing the songs. And honestly, I wanted to sing the songs. Who wouldn't? They're beautiful songs.
Yeah.
And stunning tunes. And we went through this. We went through this
recorded.
process of like recording.
Yeah,
we're
we recorded
listening.
with Saba.
And I think we all agreed that we need that accent, that very Kashmiri accent.
You mean to say you actually recorded tracks, Saba?
No, we recorded one. We did
demo.
like a test.
But that's very selfless of you, to actually take a step
she's
back and say,
amazing.
I don't want this to go on the album.
Yeah,
No,
she understood right away. She's like, this is
Because
classic.
as artists, I'll tell you, you
Yeah.
get attached to your work.
Of course.
I will voice a commercial, and even if others think it's crap, I want it to go on.
Yeah,
because it's got my
It was
voice.
actually really beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
Her voice, the song that she did was mind-blowing.
So I think it calls for a level of selflessness to say, I'm going to
That's
not
Saba.
let this
That's
go.
Saba for you. Anything for the
That's
film.
lovely.
It's
That's
for
lovely.
the film. It's
Good
not,
on you.
we're
Yeah,
not
wonderful,
here.
wonderful.
We have to preserve these songs. We have to recreate, like they have to be authentic. We
Yeah,
cannot
true.
mess with them. Yeah, it's very pious for us.
It also talks very subtly and beautifully of women empowerment, not in a in-your-face, we have to bring feminism back kind of thing, but how beautiful the father-daughter relationship
Yeah,
is.
beautiful.
Which is not very often that is shown. I mean, you always show the bond between the mother and the daughter and things like that, and how he truly is the most emancipated and liberal person in the family, and that I'd like you to comment on that part of it, on the whole. And there's such a wonderful moment where there's so many girls who are lining up to audition for Radio Kashmir.
But I in fact want to know, is that true? Is that part of the true story?
Yes,
Lovely.
yes. The
Because
father
then-
was the figure who was supporting her.
So that is, I think, I guess It's this whole, generational thing. A woman would always want her daughter to be the child bearer of, to get married and to have a safe life. Safe life, and now she's going to become a singer, pata nahi kya log kya kahenge and all that and all that. And women, women face this ostracism from their, their core much more than men do. So it's more a sensitive topic for a woman. My daughter has run away with a man, or she's run away with a band, or it's more of a trauma for the woman possibly. So I'm just thinking about it.
But also function of patriarchy, right? Like at the end of the day.
So but I didn't look at it from a woman's point of view.
Societal expectation.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point you would say. From a woman's perspective, from Sheba's character's perspective.
Exactly, it's the first time I've actually thought about it. But I'm thinking that just imagine the problem for the mother. That she would have to face.
Society.
My child is not safe.
And we're talking about that era. It's 1950s. It was worse.
And Log Kya Kahenge was a big thing,
It still is.
Yeah, it's
still covered in Log Kya Kahenge.
Their support system is everything. The other women, they need to be accepted. Everybody needs to be accepted, and then somebody does something, and unless you're a very brave renegade type of a person yourself, it's hard, So
I find the choice of casting Zain very interesting. I mean, I saw him years ago in an Onir film, and he was really very good. He was very strong, very silent. But to play a Shair requires a different kind of a
He's
daz.
a poet only. He's a poet.
He actually is a poet.
Yes,
he's a poet. He writes poetry.
He writes poetry in Urdu.
Wow.
Yes.
So did you know him
he's
socially? Yeah.
No, he was in the same school where I went to, Burnham.
Wow.
He was my junior. Yeah.
How
I knew when I was
wonderful.
like 12-year-old. Yeah. I mean, Zain 100% was the ideal choice. He's Kashmiri. He's a poet. Who else do I cast in this character?
and he's got that romantic dashing.
He's got that, that
No,
full
and it's
flavor.
his poetry that, I knew that he's the right
And tremendously compassionate character.
Absolutely.
I thought was there also real life? I mean, or was there a bit of fiction
so
in
as
that?
you know, it's fiction. Yeah, it's inspired by Raj Begum's music and legacy. We had these creative liberties that we took. That's why it's fiction, and we, the character name is Noor Begum, not Raj Begum. But so we got a chance to play with this, and but also in real life, I think we didn't get into her, her marriage and all that. For us, it was more about artists coming together, artists supporting each other, because he was also part of Radio Kashmir's character. So I think that was the gist of it. Yeah.
And the whole Guru Shishya Parampara is very beautifully displayed. I mean, there are so many singers who used to take lessons without the Guru knowing that they were taking lessons in another room where boys are being trained. History is replete with circumstances like that. And it's such an important part, and it's so great to have actors of the caliber of Shishir playing that part.
What a performer.
Amazing.
And he's done such a fantastic job in the film.
So talk about that. Talk about Shishir and Zain's character, and how in various phases of Noor Begum's career, they've really been stepping stones, pushing her, given her that beautiful positive impetus.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting to see how the men in her life were actually, her support system.
Wow, I didn't think of it that way.
So I mean, father, friend who became husband, and Guru.
Masterji, yeah.
And so, so in different phases of her life, there was a man actually standing behind her. So how interesting, So I thought that was a really interesting part of Danish's script.
Yeah.
And that Sheba's character, the mom's character, was actually the one where you expect a woman to support, but she was the one who was antagonist. So that was really interesting. Shishir Sharma brings such a beautiful, gentle energy to whatever room he walks into.
True.
Yes.
And I thought what excellent casting for Guruji, for Masterji, for that. And I really want people to see this film to kind of know the rest. I don't want to give away more.
Yeah.
I've had some wonderful moments of deja vu seeing Lillete Dubey and you together. I've seen you on the stage. You're such fine performers, both of you. And it's such a live wire, Lillete. It's never a dull moment when
and we had
she's
so much fun on stage. Yeah.
She's
Great screen
she's
presence.
60 plus, going on 18,
Always.
and she's done such a great job as that Khala. So talk about that. I mean, just hanging out. You don't have too many scenes together in
didn't
terms of
No,
that.
that was part, she was
I
part
had
of
a-
the...
I had a bunch of scenes
you
with
you
Lil.
had more scenes. I mean, I noticed
Yeah.
that phase and this phase
Yeah, she's part
were
of the,
different,
yeah,
obviously.
period era.
But did you have the same shooting dates at
No.
least to clash?
No.
No.
Oh no.
No.
I always like friends catching up on
when
sets.
Saba left off.
Same day,
We
same day.
literally, like,
Yeah, we met in
as
the
in the
hotel
lobby of the
lobby.
hotel. I was going to
God.
the airport. She was coming from the airport. I was like,
Oh.
"Hi, Soni."
Crazy.
We quickly hugged, and then we just went in
Yeah,
different directions.
I remember that. Remember, yeah, you texted me, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally hugged me before she got into her car and I got out of my car.
Yeah.
That's
But
how-
you've never done any theatre with Lillete. I mean,
I
this
have
is-
not done theatre
not,
with Lillete. No, I haven't. But I loved working with her, and she's, like you said, a live wire.
Yeah.
Lil is just, she's amazing. Love her.
So filming in Kashmir is in itself such a thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you're familiar with the place because you grew up there. But of late, the last few years, you've been out in the US, right? I mean, or do you still
Back
have
and
a
forth.
house there?
No, I do. My family is based in Kashmir.
So,
my
so tell me
parents.
about those locations. They're very beautiful,
Yeah,
those
yeah, I
houses.
mean-
Oh my God.
I know.
You know, you just want to take the next flight into Jammu or Srinagar and
All
live in
real
those
locations.
houses.
There's no set.
Yeah.
They're all real locations.
And you've used the Dal very beautifully. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many scenes where you've filmed there. So talk
yeah.
about that. Talk about the.
We have a local
scenes.
crew in Kashmir, so and because being a local, being a Kashmiri, we know the spots, we know the area very well. We don't want to go to that cliche spots that you see in, other films, So I think most of the locations that you see are actually our real locations. And since the period film, Kashmir hasn't changed much over years.
Yeah.
The authenticity, the realness of Old Town, the rawness is still there, and we were able to capture those. We wanted to stick to real locations and make sure it's as authentic as possible.
And Imtiaz Ali was telling me that there are lots of line producers in Kashmir. I mean, it's
Yeah.
become very easy to shoot there. You just make a couple of calls and things get organized. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also, I have to take a moment to say what a fantastic crew it was.
Yeah,
Just
lovely.
the most gentle, kind people I have ever been on a set with. I still remember them and I still think of them.
Yep.
And it was such a wonderful experience because, we're all shooting in Bombay and the Bombay crew goes everywhere usually. This was like a local crew.
70% local.
70% local
Nice.
crew, and
Yeah.
we got to meet these wonderful Kashmiri people, all like in the business of making film,
Even-
and it was wonderful to be there.
There are a lot of Kashmiris involved. You'll be surprised. It's the first film that's produced by Kashmiris, it's directed by Kashmiris, it's written by Kashmiris, and the entire crew, 70% were Kashmiris. Shafat Qazi and I, we produced it. He's also Kashmiri, LA based. Then even the writers are Kashmiri, Sunana, me. Then even I directed, of course. Even some HODs, and I have my own line production company in Kashmir. So everybody were Kashmiri. So that's why it's.
I think Danish has done a lot to provide a lot of employment to the film industry in Kashmir.
We've been
That's
trying.
lovely.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
lovely.
we keep making sure
Yeah.
whenever we shoot
Yeah.
there,
That
we
local
use
talent
local
gets,
crew.
local
talent
talent
gets
gets acknowledged. Yeah, I
That's-
think that's
yeah.
fantastic.
And they're all so good looking. They all look like out of a Hollywood film with
This
light
is
eyes.
very
and-
true.
Very
we
true.
were shooting
Beautiful.
in this village, this tiny village.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah. I
And
remember
the
she
girls there, I was just like, इन्हीं को cast कर लेते हैं. मुझे क्यों डाल दिया इस film में? Look at the faces.
Very pretty, very
Just
pretty.
stunning.
And kind.
Stunning.
And innocent.
Yeah.
So the beauty to it. Yeah.
Really.
There are moments where you've done such a great job when Taruk's character wants to come and cover your life, where you've been a little jaded and a little upset with how the press has treated you. Equally true of the modern age. That the press has changed. This must have been such a remarkable woman to look at and say, wow, this character, she existed in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, what a force,
What a force.
to come up with. And the thing is, in the rest of the country, you had Lata Mangeshkar, who was already a big, getting to become a very big star.
Yeah.
And you had, singers, female singers were, making a mark for themselves. But here there's this lone voice coming out of Kashmir who's actually, through the airwaves of Radio Kashmir is being beamed probably to, wherever it could be. And then she just disappears into the annals of time. And I think it's amazing that Danish has brought this out again because there, you know, we discover there are so many facets to our heritage as a country, as a people, as a community, and we have all these.
Even the preservation of those
all
music,
these wonderful,
and, you know, the culture, the tradition.
Did Danish get some Vazwan done from his house and brought to set?
I think he was way too busy directing.
Yes,
The set food was great.
But we got lots of food, lot of Razdan.
Yeah. I think Soni ji knows all the best spots.
Yeah, you'll have to invite them
I
back
know
just for
You
that.
were there, you know the best part.
I know, you should say it at least one day.
I know, I really should have.
You should invite them back just for that.
Oh, yeah. We are
have a
inviting
real
ourselves.
treat.
We have invited
Celebration
ourselves.
party in Kashmir.
Yeah.
My last question is about the title. I'm very intrigued you would call it Songs of Paradise. You could have called it Noor Begum. You could have called it Rani Begum. I don't know. But Songs of Paradise.
Yes.
Obviously referring to Kashmir as paradise.
Absolutely.
But were there other working titles, or was this just you
I
and
was
Nat?
registered 5 years ago.
Wow.
It's been registered, and there was no working.
So it was on your clap.
Yes, absolutely. This is always the title of the film. Yeah. It's about the song.
And how did that happen? I mean, does it come to you like a gut feeling, an epiphany, or
gut feeling?
Yeah?
I mean, I'm a huge Majid Majidi fan. It also comes from his titles, you know. I'll be honest with you, but yeah, this was always the title of the film.
Nice one on naming Taruk's character Rumi. Wonderful touch.
Yeah.
And I like how her character
adds mystery
reacts
to
to
it.
that.
Yeah, Rumi.
Yeah, Rumi, lovely.
Yeah.
Guys, 29th of August, it's on Amazon Prime Video, the streaming service. Please go watch it. It's a very sweet film. It's beautifully made. It's directed by Danish Renzu. It stars a wonderful ensemble cast. There's Shishir, there's Sheba, and of course Saba Azad and Soni Razdan. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.